Welcome. I'm Chava Ashkenazi Bloom, and I'd like to welcome you to the Elul edition of my new series, It's All About Relationship. As you know, we're now in the month of Elul. Elul is the last month of the calendar year that starts with Tishrei and Rosh Hashanah. This month is a month of preparation for the new year. It's a month of coming closer to God. The Hebrew letters that spell Elul describe this. Aleph, Lamed, Vav, Lamed. This is an acronym for Ani Lidodi Vidodi Li. I am to my beloved, and my beloved is to me. Elul is all about relationship to Hashem. I'd like to describe a concept that I learned from one of my teachers, the noted Torah scholar Sarah Yehudit Schneider. And that is that God brought creation into existence in order to actualize relationship. Before creation, there could be no relationship since there was only God. He was all, he filled all, he existed for all time, perfect and complete. And since there was no other, in some mysterious sense, he was missing the experience of giving goodness to an other. He was missing the experience of an actualized, loving relationship. Relationship, by definition, needs an other. Because God is everything that exists and he fills all that exists, ein od milvado, how can an other possibly exist? How can God be in relationship with anything else? The way God created this other is described in the Kabbalistic writings of the saintly Rabbi Yitzchak Luria of Tzfat. He wrote that God created a space for creation by contracting himself to the sides of a defined spherical place called the Chalal Panui. Within this vacant space, he concealed his qualities of infinity, eternity, and perfection, leaving only those qualities which he would use to create our finite, temporal reality. This was the beginning of creation as we know it. The Holy One brought us, the creation, into existence as his cosmic other, to be in relationship with him. He created us with the potential for forming a most wondrous, loving relationship with him, with the Holy One. This relationship was not to be a relationship of compulsion or of instinct. It was to be a most wondrous relationship between two who freely choose one another. Therefore, this other, which is us, needs to feel autonomous and independent, and needs to be capable of freely choosing whether or not to be in relationship and who to be in relationship with. Any relationship that doesn't include that element would feel like a narcissistic extension of God himself. And that is not his plan. So for this reason, the other that's created by God must go through a process of building itself up as its own unique, independent entity so that it can then merge into the us of divine relationship. In some mysterious way, the Holy One chooses to become two in order to become one again in a conscious, loving relationship with his creation. That's what we're here for, each of us and all of us, to return to God in loving relationship. In our next podcast, we'll talk about how this concept was expressed in the Torah through the archetypal Adam and Chava, and how the debacle of the tree of knowledge fundamentally changed their and our relationship with God. So I hope you've enjoyed listening and that you'll come back to hear the rest of the story.